First of all, I had so much fun. It's a blessing to be able to know him. And Michael's like a king. He was like a modern day king, and we did a lot of fun stuff. I used to just, I couldn't wait to hang out with him when he had a chance, when we had a chance to. But we would do stuff like go to the movies, and Michael was so famous he had to disguise himself. And we would come downstairs. I'd be like, "Where's Michael?" And Michael would be covered up like, "I'm over here, Chris. I'm here." I said, "Michael, that's you?" "Yeah, Chris." I thought we was going to the movies. You're not even dressed. "I am dressed, Chris." "I just can't go in the movies. We got to disguise it a little bit." I said, "Okay." So we go in the movies, and I'm thinking, I'm trying to be secret too. I'm hiding myself. Then Michael laughing louder than anybody. Everybody know Michael's laughing.
Right.
He's like, hee, hee, hee. I was like, "Michael, shut up. They're going to find you in here. It's going to be a riot."
Have you ever worn a disguise in public so you were not recognised? I've thought about it. In fact, I quite like the idea of it, right? Having to wear a mask and sunglasses. I always wear sunglasses anyway, and a baseball cap, right? I thought the mask would be amazing. I'll be anonymous. I walk down the street, and people are going, "Hi, Ricky." So, I don't know, is my nose a giveaway? Is that big, blobby, calm? I know the mask would have been there, wouldn't it? I had sunglasses on. They must know. Oh, there's a bloke here walking like a chimp. As Ricky. How do you do it? He's got chimp ability. I'm trying to get chimp ability. To walk to be cheeky, and laugh like a chimp, out and walk, have short legs. He's got chimp ability. Oh dear.
We did one time. We went to a mall. We was out. Michael wanted to go to the record store or something, and he forgot he was famous. He was like, "I gotta go to the mall. Go to the mall." And we finally said, "Michael, you can't go in the mall, man. You forgot who you are." He said, "Well, let's go." And it was only thing was in the car was a Spider-Man mask. So Michael said, "I'll put this on. We'll go in and we get." I said, "Michael, you can't do that. Spider-Man ain't gonna just be walking through the mall. Ain't nobody. They gonna know it's you, Michael." He's like, "No, he won't. Chris, it'll work. It'll work." We go in the mall, and he was getting away with it until people figured it out, because I was with him, and he was like, "Chris, is that Michael Jackson, that Spider-Man mask?" "No, that's Spider-Man. That's Michael Jackson." All of a sudden, the mall went crazy, and they had to scoot us out. You should have seen it. It was
my God.
It was great. We had a lot of fun, though. He was great.
The only time I've thought about being in disguise, I think, is probably at something like a concert where it's a lot of public, and there's drinking, and you've got to be in the... See, I don't worry about it at the theatre, because you can get a box or away from... In a restaurant, people don't bother you. Walking around, people don't bother you. But at an Iggy Pop concert, when you're in the crowd, that's when I wish big beard. Or just someone else. Just Michael Jackson mask. People going, short fat Michael Jackson at this concert. But I've never done it, no. I also think if that people recognise you as a guy, they go, "How fucking mental is that? That's Ricky Gervais in a disguise. What? Why is he undercover? Why is he?" But yeah, sometimes you walk into a shop to buy pants, and you wish, I wish I'd have to have a conversation about pants. But it's no big deal.
Hi, I'm Ricky Gervais, co-owner of Dutch Barn Vodka, and with me today, Dr. Patterson. Now, this is an advert, so you're not a real doctor.
No, I'm an actor.
Now, you like a drink, don't you?
Absolutely.
What do you drink?
Beer.
I think vodka is probably better than beer in terms of calories per unit of alcohol, although I doubt it'd make a dent in you. You're a fat because you eat too much, I'm assuming.
And no exercise.
You're a fat because you eat too much, right?
No exercise.
You're a fat because you eat too much. Fat. And I'm the co-owner of... Fucking can't look at him. Wait, right, okay. Right. Could you tell us some of the dangers of alcohol?
Yeah, there's loads. High blood pressure.
Why do you eat and drink so much then?
I'm not sure. I like the taste of food.
Yeah. Everyone does. But you don't like being unhealthy and out of breath and sweaty and despised, do you?
No, I guess I've got no willpower and that depresses me, so I just eat and drink way more than I should.
Yeah. So you suffer from mental health as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't want to get up in the morning, face the world. What would you do, though?
I don't know.
Shush, everyone.
I just... Hi, I'm Ricky Gervais, and I'm the co-owner of Dutch Barn Vodka. Oh, I can't. It's fucking really brought a downer.
You asked, huh?
Yeah, I know. Oh, God. Got to try and be funny now. Fatty Arbuckle about to tell me. Hi, I'm Ricky Gervais, co-owner of Dutch Barn Vodka, and with me today, Dr. Patterson. Now, this is an advert, so you're not a real doctor.
No, I'm an actor,
Like George Clooney in ER.
I guess.
So, Doctor,
Actor.
can you tell us some of the dangers of alcohol?
Well, there's loads, from high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, liver disease, weakening the immune system, digestive problems, depression, and accidents.
Dutch Barn. Amazing. Well, what's been happening? First of all, thank you for all your well wishes and inquiries about my little incident. So, what happened was, when was it? What day was it? Was it, Wednesday night, about 1 a.m. at night, I'm asleep. Oh, and a pain in my sort of side woke me up, like a shooting pain. Like, oh, I mean, that never happens. So, oh God, what was that? And it happened again. And my first thought was obviously liver cancer. Right? And in the middle of the night, that praise, you're convinced, well, that is it. I've blown it, you know. And I got another pain, oh God. And then I felt sick. And I went to throw up, but I couldn't. I thought, oh, maybe it's stomach cancer. Right? And then I couldn't be sick, there was nothing there. But the pain of the vomiting was incredible. It was an intensity. And you forget how bad vomiting is. You know what I mean? You just forget how awful. I mean, never mind the illness and thinking you're going to die. You can't breathe. And I think I'm going to choke. I think that I'm not going to get my breath back between it. And the spasm, like the next day, even when I was over it, if I coughed, my ribs, I thought, oh, I've ripped my stomach lining here. So, right, all this is happening in my head as well. And then that happened a few times, and I started sweating and cold sweating. I thought, what is this? It's coronavirus. I've had that before. I called it off one of my nieces, or great nieces, one Christmas. They were, everyone got ill. And again, that happened in the middle of the night as well. So I sort of started recognising it. Oh, Jesus. That didn't stop me thinking at one point that it might have been radiation sickness. I just thought, well, it could be. You know what I mean? You never know. Someone might have been walking behind me with a bit of plutonium once. Right? But anyway, I was pretty sure after a couple of hours this was coronavirus. So I was trying to fight it then, and then it started. The other end started, which is a relief, really, because I'd rather it come out that way than fire on my face. You know what I mean? Because diarrhea, you go whatever. You go, it's not me. I can't. It's just happening, right? Emptying, like just pulling the plug. But oh yeah, I think everything. I'd rather everything came out that way. And then I was still sort of wretched as well. And then nothing was coming, and then a bit of sort of brown stuff. I thought, is that bile? Or am I vomiting from my arse? Right? Because I know sort of too much but not enough. Because I knew that a cyanide makes, reverse peristalsis from the bowel. So you die of vomiting your own. Right, so I thought, it was like I had some cyanide. But anyway, in general, give me diarrhea over vomiting. Not even vomiting, retching without the relief of sick. Is this interesting? Is this what you tuned in for? Now, has anyone talked about sick and as much in any broadcast ever? So anyway. So, it was at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock rock, and it's both ends, right? And I know a lot of people during coronavirus, they've told me that they were sitting on the toilet and throwing up in the bath. Now, because I've got a bit of cash, my bath is miles from the toilet, right? So I couldn't do that. So I was having to spin round. I was trying to time it. I was going, no, quick. Sit down. So, the old Roxy Music song, Both Ends Burning, springs to mind. So anyway, then I couldn't even, water made me feel sick. I couldn't even rehydrate because water gave me the sort of urge to throw up and it hit my stomach. And then eventually, what worked, I had a Lemsip and a Gaviscon, is it Gaviscon? And it sort of worked well. I could lay down without wanting to be sick. If I moved, I wanted to be sick, but I could lay down. And it was all over by about 6 o'clock that morning. I still couldn't get up. I couldn't eat. So I think I got up I had half a banana for lunch in bed, and I think I eventually got up about 3 o'clock that afternoon, and it was all over. I still felt weak. I mean, I couldn't even face a beer till about 8 o'clock that night. So, yeah, that's the story. Unbelievable. Don't want that again. That's the other thing, it's going to happen again one day, don't you? You know it's going to, Anyway, questions. Keena, do you get any anxiety before playing gigs at massive venues? Yes. Such as the States? If so, how do you deal with this? Well, if you mean the Hollywood Bowl, yes. And I don't usually. People say, do you get nervous for a gig? And I say, no. I'd never get nervous for a gig. I know what I'm doing. The warm-ups, I don't know laugh or not, but that's what it's about, and you enjoy that. And then by the time you're playing arenas, you know it works, and it sort of works every night. I think the only time I've got nervous is like the Golden Globes, because it's live and there's 100 million people watching. So if you make one mistake, everyone sees it and you can't take it back. But I don't usually get nervous for a gig. But I did with the Hollywood Bowl, and I don't know whether it was the sense of occasion or it was the unknown or it was so big. The sound check, I walked out of the sound check and I went, because it's not just a big venue, it sort of goes on forever, and it goes into nature. There's no walls. it just sort of the seats go on forever, and into the trees. It's like a natural. I don't know what you'd call it. It's like a valley, and they built this stadium. And when I went out, the crowd were amazing, and it was you lose your nose immediately. Actually, as soon as you walk out, you're at work, and you forget everything. It's just a gig then. But the weird thing about it was, all my fears they disappeared. I was thinking, what if they're not listening? Of course they were listening. Some of them have paid thousands of dollars. They're not going to go and not listen, right? So, but these play on your mind. What if it rains? It didn't. First of all, I said when the promoter said, I said, what about the echo? So big. Well, there's no echo because there's no walls. Oh yeah, of course. Science. So it was great immediately. But with the thing that it's built in, like an aircraft hangar, like the shape of like a sky dish, right? There's birds roosting. So I went out and there's the roar of the crowd, but all these birds were sort of woken up. So the crowd couldn't hear them, but I could hear. I was like playing a gig in an aviary. So it was quite sweet. It was quite like a Disney cartoon. So yeah, I don't usually get anxious, but I did there. How do you deal with it? You just got to go. It's what's the worst that can happen? You don't have to do it once. You know, you're not filming it. It's not like, you know, I've got to get everything perfect. You just play with it, and you're just going to work, really. You just got to go. You're going to work, and you think, oh, what a privilege! This is a privilege. This is amazing. But the thing that gets me through it is, they've paid money to see you. They want to like it. You know what I mean? 20,000 people don't buy a ticket to go there and go, this is rubbish. You know, they're your fans, really. If I walked out, you know, if I don't know, One Direction were playing, and I went out and said, can I do 20 minutes, lads? I might struggle. But they're all there to see me, so it couldn't be more conducive to being a brilliant gig. And it was amazing, and yeah, it is still surreal. So thanks to everyone who bought a ticket and everyone who tried, and yeah, it was an amazing night. And the promoter said you could do this again, and I went, when? And they went, do it again in 18 months. And I thought, I was very flattered, but I think I'd quite like it to be, there's part of me that goes, I could do even better, and it'd be amazing to play it twice. But I think there's something amazing about playing it once, if that makes sense. It makes it more special. That time I played the Hollywood Bowl. But we'll see. Sam, when you do your live shows in countries where English isn't their first language, do you have to adjust your sets at all? Do some jokes not land as well? Well, I only play countries where English is their second language, but they are fluent in it. So, and also, any country you play, they're only going if they speak English. They know I'm not doing it in their language. So even if wherever you play, if you play, you know, a big country, you only need a few thousand people that are fluent in your language, and they're the only ones that go along. And also there are certain countries that there is no language barrier at all. Scandinavia, you know, Benelux countries, you know, cosmopolitan areas of most of Europe speaks English. English people are the lazy ones. So no, I do make some. I probably do speak a bit clearer. Also, when I'm playing an overseas venue, I'm playing big venues because I'm only there one night. So I do play big venue, so you sort of speak clearer anyway. You speak to the back of the room and articulate a bit more, so that certainly helps. I talk about universal subjects. I'd never talk about what I watched on Channel 4 last night. I'd never talk about, you know, British Big Brother. I talk about, you know, universal subjects, you know, Hitler, cancer, famine. Those dudes are evergreen. So I talk about universal subjects. The thing that sometimes catches you out, that even though they speak fluent English and I understand every word you say and your cultural references are universal, there was a thing in I think it was in Supernature where the line was it was then I realised I could kill myself. And in some countries it didn't get the laugh. And I thought, oh, they don't know what, that's a euphemism. They don't know, why would you kill yourself? They don't have that saying. So I had to change it to, then I realised I'd made a terrible mistake. Right? So it's things like that you don't, and we use a lot of euphemism. We use a lot of sayings and euphemisms that we just take for granted. You can't have your cake and eat it. You know, and people go, what do you mean you can't have your cake and eat it? What? So you don't realise that those euphemisms are really sort of parochial in a way. But outside that, everything works everywhere, really. I mean, certainly 99% of it. But yeah, you do think about those things. Ricky, have you got a stand-up venue on your bucket list? Where is your dream place? I haven't, because I wouldn't really know about them until I've played them. There's certainly places I go, oh my God, that was magical. I definitely want to play there again. And I think, given that if they speak fluent English, the venue probably makes more of a difference than the country in many ways. When you're playing 10,000 people, people are the same, you know. But there are certainly magical venues and magical cities, like, you know, Dublin. Dublin's always amazing. It's always one louder. I think the Olympia in Paris was great. Rock and roll venues are really good. Those rock and roll sort of places that are sort of old, established venues. Victorian theatres are really good. They're packed in, they're shaped right. It's perfect for comedy. But now arenas are getting better. I didn't like arenas at first, but now arenas are built better with better acoustics and the better shape and better sound. And with the big screens, it's almost more intimate because they're there, they're at the event, and they can look up and see your facial expressions that they couldn't traditionally. Dream place. I like visiting places. I like finding out. So there's loads of places I haven't been. You know, what have I been to? I can't even work it out. A few % of the world. I heard. I think Afterlife certainly is big in, like, you know, South America. So I'd love to play somewhere like Argentina one day. It's just too far, isn't it? I've heard there's a new plane that goes to America in like 50 minutes. I'll probably be before it's... I don't know though. Technology's moving along, isn't it? So there, I'll fly around. I'll go... If I can get to anywhere in the world in a couple of hours, I will play everywhere. If it's really safe. I want someone else to test it first. I forget the name of the bloke who's doing it, but, you know, let him test it. I want to know I want the stats. I want to see how... If they say this is safer than crossing the road, that is a particularly surreal thing to do. For a British stand-up comedian to play the Hollywood Bowl, let alone sell it out is pretty amazing. But yes, I don't take any of this for granted. I wake up every day thinking I've got to do something here. Got to keep, you try and keep improving, keep interest in it, and you're grateful. No, I'm not one of those that thinks I can do anything and it just lasts forever. You have to work at it. In fact, in a way, it sort of gets harder because you're judged by your last thing. So the better your last thing is, the harder it is for you to beat it. So yeah, I do. I can't believe it. I mean, I always look back to my beginnings. Really, I'm very, very grateful, and I know how lucky I am in a way, because there is an amount of luck. You know, it could have happened to someone else. There's loads of people that are as good and work as hard, and it doesn't happen. Yeah, of course I did. Are you a vegan for health or political reasons? Well, neither. I think you mean ethical reasons. I'm a vegan because of ethical reasons. I think it is probably healthier in certain aspects, particularly for things like colon cancer and probably obesity and cholesterol, certainly. But you can be an unhealthy vegan. I'm living proof. And you can be a very healthy meat eater. So it's not that. No, it's ethical reasons. I couldn't sort of live with myself anymore. I tried to convince myself that it was okay being a vegetarian, but then I found out what has to happen for you to have eggs, like they gas the baby male chicks or liquidise them just because they want. It's horrible. And I told myself that I only ate free range, and I found out that free range meant they have to have 2 feet instead of bolted in a cage. And then dairy, I just couldn't, and I don't go around lecturing people about it because I think it's a slow process, and I think people dig in if I started lecturing people, telling them they were bad. And also I think there is something to be said with, even if you're wrong, that vegetarianism isn't any more ethical than eating meat. I think it's a step in the right direction psychologically, because I think all you can do is be better than you were yesterday. That's all. Just change the world a little bit, and giving up meat does make a difference to the world. There's this stat that if you eat meat every day, if you give up 1 day a week, we could feed another 100 million people, because just the amount of water and grain it takes to feed a cow to be eaten by a certain amount of people is like ridiculous times the amount of nutrition you can get from plant-based things, cutting down rainforests to feed cows and stuff. But I don't want to, because I think that annoys people and it puts them off and it makes them feel bad. And I just think you've got to change. You've got to change for your own reasons. But yeah, I do it for ethical reasons as opposed to health. I mean, it wouldn't make sense, would it, to eat plant-based stuff for health and then drink a bottle of red wine? So no, I just want to go. Oh, I didn't any animals today. It's that really. How does it feel knowing that Afterlife has helped so many people? Amazing. It is the best thing about it, and I never thought it would be. And I've never done anything, in entertainment. In fact, I've been belligerent. I've gone, art isn't to, change people's values or to preach. It's to entertain. And I still did that with Afterlife, and it was a happy coincidence that it did touch people in that way, which shows that if you do what's passionate, then you probably do make a difference anyway. You don't have to try, if you know what I mean. I mean, you can try not to harm anyone, but I just think if you do something that's genuinely interesting and entertaining and means something to you, then it will mean something to other people. But yeah, it feels... I mean, just the sheer amount of people that watched it. I've heard it's like 125 million now, which is crazy. And that figure is who watched the whole series. I know that some... I think it was like BBC iPlayer, when they say that, 12 million people watched this show, I looked at it, what they actually mean is that if it's like a 6-part thing, they mean that 2 million people watched each episode. So they go, well, that's 12. No, it isn't. That's 2 million people watched the whole episode. If I did that with Afterlife, what would that be? It'd be like 700 million people. No, 120 million people watched the whole show, which is staggering enough. Yeah, and that's what makes me worried about the next thing. What if the next thing I do only gets 50 million? I feel like a failure. I see these boy bands, right? So these poor boy bands, and they're all at 17, and they've had 3 number ones. And I know that when they get a number 2, their record company goes, "You bad boys. You give us something. You're getting no more money. There's some other kids here." So it's terrible. You just mustn't think about those things. You mustn't think about those things. It's lovely. You go, "Oh, that's good," and then you mustn't think about it. But you do. You do. How far have you got with the new series? Oh, Doris. Oh God, I mean, I've got 2 things on the go now that are almost at pilot stage. In fact, I just thought there's a 3rd thing as well, that might happen. But I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to do one of them. I don't know which one to do. I don't know whether to do both. They've both been sort of greenlit, if I want to do them, by Netflix. I can't tell you about it, but anyway, one's animation and I'm in one. But I've got the idea and the synopsis, and I've probably got a cobbled together a pilot script. But I'm enjoying stand-up too much. I would be happy to never do another show again. It's got to that stage. And not just because I think I can't beat Afterlife or whatever, but I don't know what there is to beat full stop. But there is something to beat with stand-up. I can change it every night. I can go with the flow. I can see the world. I can be... I feel that I'm braver in stand-up than anything else I do as well. But I do love the other thing as well. I also feel guilty. I feel that I should be working in the day. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's like you've got to write an essay, and you think, "Oh, I've got a few weeks yet," and it just gets closer. You go, "Oh, I've got to write an essay soon." That's why I never give myself deadlines, because that'll just stress me out. I'll do it when it happens, or not. And there might be another idea that comes along and beats them both, so I don't know.
The far-right activist Stephen Yaxley Lennon, better known as Tommy Robinson, was today jailed for 18 months. He'd admitted contempt of court after repeating false claims about a teenage refugee. Well, Garrett Vincent is at Woolwich Crown Court for us this evening. So Garrett, what happened in court?
Well, this hearing, Mary, was the latest turn in a legal process which began some 6 years ago with a video which went viral. It showed a teenage Syrian refugee who was called Jamal Hijazi being attacked at school in Yorkshire. At the time, the man who calls himself Tommy Robinson posted a response to the video claiming that Mr. Hijazi was a violent bully who was getting his comeuppance. That claim was not true, and Mr. Hijazi brought a successful libel action against Robinson, and the judge in that case told Robinson not to repeat his claims anywhere else or in the future. Well, over the last 2 years, Robinson has been doing exactly that, most notably in a 90-minute film which features, to this day, prominently on his social media. On Friday, Robinson presented himself at a police station. He presented himself here today in court as a passionate and principled believer in free speech. But the judge reminded him that while he is entitled to criticise a court decision, Tommy Robinson is not entitled to disobey a court's order. And he noted that Robinson regards himself as above the law. And indeed, when he told the defendant that he could have his sentence reduced if he took down that libelous video from his social media sites, Tommy Robinson looked up at the public gallery where 24 or so of his supporters were sitting, and he shook his head and he mouthed the word no.
I'm cynical. We could start a conspiracy theory. I did I think one of the best episodes yesterday of Absolutely Mental, and we talked about what's the factor now in human evolution. How are we being selected? Because it's obviously no longer, you know, just strength and speed, and it's still passing on your genetic material, but what factors in choosing mates and stuff, and like even social media, we go into it depth. We basically, humans gossip. You know, our evolution is based on it, right? So when we were little tribes, when we first got language, we'd gossip, right? We'd go, he's good at this, he's good at that, right? And that would raise his status, so we'd like him. And it was to control the group, like, he's not pulling his weight, don't trust him. So that's how we built our, you know, society, really. And then when society got bigger and bigger, we couldn't control them. So that's how sort of organised religion grew, in a way, because we could go, well, you've got, these are the rules for everyone, all of us, and you know, whatever you do, God's watching you or whatever, and it sort of, again, controlled all the tribes. And there were factors. It was all about status, because we want status. In a group, we always want status. Even little kids, they fight over a toy for status. They might not want the toy, but they fight over it. And traditionally, status in a tribe was usually who was the strongest, like violence. But again, with society, we sort of lost that as a factor. And there were two ways you could raise your status. One was be competent at something, be good at something. Right? He's brilliant at that. Right? He's the best at that. He's done well. The other one was virtue. Like, he's not very good at anything, but he is kind, or he is honest. So that would raise your status, right? So competence and virtue. And even religion gave that to some people, that if you weren't very good at anything, you could still have virtue, right? But with the death of sort of, you know, organised religion, the next big thing for gossip was like journalism. People read papers and trusted them and everything. And with the death of that, now it's sort of social media. But the two factors still remain. In society, you're either good at something, he did this, it's all about reputation to raise your status, because you don't know them, you don't know the people, you can't know billions of people, so it's reputation. So he did this, he's great at that, or they're virtuous. Now, the thing with social media is, and society, people have realised they can just lie. They don't have to be really virtuous, they can just say they are, and that's what virtue signaling is. So when someone goes online, they're trying to bring someone down. They're going, oh, he did this, I wouldn't do that. Well, we don't know that. So they're pretending they're virtuous, but they're just not. So that's, you know, half the people online, they're just lying. I thought it was fascinating. It was just fascinating how that's a new strain, that you can be a social justice warrior and a total hypocrite. You're just bringing people down to raise because you're not competent. You haven't done anything. And that's why you find, like, in any sort of situation, people go after
people who have done more than them. Do you know what I mean? You don't see Jerry Seinfeld slagging off new comedians, but you see new comedians or bitter comedians slagging off Jerry Seinfeld because they haven't achieved, they're not competent like he is, so they're trying to bring him down to raise their status amongst their tribe, their followers. So basically, just be nice. Don't be a cunt. I've always felt like that, and I've never heard anyone put it into words like that. But I've always thought, wonder why people are trying to bring people down. Whereas if they just concentrated on their own career, they'd do better. But they've wasted their careers slagging off people who've achieved more. But they would have achieved more if they hadn't been slagging people off. They would have achieved more.
Tommy Robinson has today been jailed for 18 months after admitting contempt of court in relation to allegations made against a Syrian schoolboy. The former EDL leader was banned from repeating the claims made about refugee Jamal Hijazi, who was beaten up in Huddersfield in 2018. He was previously ordered to pay £100,000 in damages after the 15-year-old successfully sued over videos wrongly claiming he attacked young English girls. But grey-suited Robinson accepted breaching a 2021 High Court injunction 10 times between February 2023 and July of this year. He made further allegations in various podcasts and interviews posted on online platforms like YouTube, X and Rumble. The 41-year-old also repeated the allegations in his 90-minute film Silence, which was shown to protesters at a demo in Trafalgar Square. Robinson, real name Stephen Yaxley Lennon, was brought to the dock at 10:30 a.m. at Woolwich Crown Court this morning. The hearing was meant to last for 2 days, but early submissions saw him accept that he breached that allegation 10 times. Mr. Justice Jeremy Johnson KC revealed he received an 11th hour email on Sunday night indicating there was a resolution in the civil case. Robinson nodded and replied yes when asked if he admitted all 10 breaches in the 2 contempt of court applications brought against him in July and August. He was jailed for 18 months minus 3 days for the time he spent at Folkestone Police Station over the weekend following his arrest on Friday. Mr. Justice Johnson KC handed down a maximum 2-year sentence for committing contempt of court, but he reduced this due to mitigation and his early guilty plea. He said each individual breach is so serious that a non-custodial sentence could not be justified. The breaches of the junction are so serious that it can only be achieved by immediate custody. There is no realistic prospect of rehabilitation. The judge claimed Robinson regards himself as being above the law and slammed each planned, deliberate and flagrant breach as having a corrosive effect on the administration of justice. Mr. Justice Johnson added, in a democratic society underpinned by the court of law, court injunctions must be obeyed. Nobody is above the law. Nobody can pick and choose which laws and injunctions they obey and which they do not. Aidan Eardley KC for the Solicitor General claimed Robinson showed a clear intention to disobey the order and to keep disobeying it. He said, "This is not a case about Mr. Yaxley's political views or freedom of expression. It's about disobedience and undermining the court of law." Robinson was seen laughing when Mr. Eardley suggested the costs he should pay would amount to £80,000 with £50,000 to be paid on account. He blew a kiss to the public gallery and waved as he was escorted out of the dock and to the cells next to HMP Belmarsh.
Photograph. How are you spelling death there, lads? D-E-F. So, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Good tune there. No snobbery. Not on this show, mate. How are you? Hello. Which is right. Is this interesting broadcasting? Honestly, got nothing to beat them. There's nothing to beat the shit that I see that's being broadcast at the moment in the name of entertainment. I mean, from, shows that, fair enough, they used to be studio shows with a lot of effort and stuff, and now they're put together on Zoom. Right, that's fair enough. But it's like, everyone's having a go now, aren't they? Some people are having a second bite at the cherry. They can't believe their luck. They got we'll have you on. Fucking hell. So we were really milking one idea on Twitter. Again, nothing wrong with that. Whatever gets you through. I told you I finished The Last Dance. Brilliant. Just give the Emmy. Just give that the Emmy. Oh, Emmys. I've got no chance for an Emmy. It started coming through, like people asked me to do this podcast for like Emmy consideration. Afterlife has no chance. No chance at all. Because it's going to be there's the same sort of 5 big network shows that are going to be nominated. They're like a juggernaut, a machine. 6,000 Emmy voters. Why are they going to vote for me? Particularly after the Golden Globes. They all hate me. Yeah. He said we're all disgusting. Should we vote for his Netflix show? No, let's not. Also, I think people would go, this isn't a comedy. It's not people talking in a funny voice and falling over. There's no laughter. There's a man who's sad. We can't give a... I can't believe I've been nominated as many times as I have in the Emmys. Was it 24 times for writing, directing, things like extras, Derek, stand-up. I tell you, I've got a chance of another nomination. Writing my monologue for the Golden Globes again. I've had a couple of nominations for that, so that might get me another nom. Who cares? So if any Emmy voters are watching, vote for me. Be on the right side of history. It doesn't matter. You realise it's very exciting still, and the first time you get nominated for anything or win anything, you think, "Oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever." And then when you see the idiots who get nominated, you know, like not that special, and the idiots who fucking vote, and the reasons people vote for things and stuff. But it's nice. It's always nice to be around in the mix, to still be there. I'm talking like I'm dead. This is me writing my own obituary. Yeah, good innings. He was always around. He always got nominated and did a bit of everything. Didn't he? He wrote a little bit and directed and acted. Did a stand-up. Did some children's books. Yeah, he had a good lazy bastard. He liked to drink. He was a nice lad. He stayed normal. Wasn't a nonce. Didn't kill anyone. Paid his taxes. That's not bad, is it? That's not bad for a top entertainer. Yeah, that'd do. Be long on the gravestone, wouldn't it? That'd be a long. God, Lou did lots of great stuff. Didn't kill anyone. Not a nonce. Paid his taxes. I'll be happy with that. Had a laugh. Any questions? Quimmy Savile. Someone just said Quimmy Savile. Oh, the other day when I explained to Americans who the outtakes where Ratty and the Nonce were shouting out nicknames like Quimmy Savile, Michael Parkin Bum, and all that. What was the other one? Howard Shitmum. I explained who they were, and I felt bad after, but I lumped in Michael Parkinson with Jimmy Savile. and Harold Shipman. Right, now Harold Shipman was a murderer. Jimmy Savile was the world's most prolific nonce. Right, Michael Parkinson didn't do anything wrong. He's a nice man, at the top of his game. He was our greatest interviewer. I wasn't suggesting that he was in the same company as those two. I should make that clear. I've probably made it worse. What else has happened? Thanks for watching Afterlife 1 and 2, and the Willoughbys. That really took off. That yeah, done really, really well, according to Netflix. So I don't know if that's a reflection of lockdown, where people just like get their kids and watch this film, watch this film, watch it again. But yeah. Incredible, all around the world. My first animated feature as one of the producers. So, well, I'll do that again. That lot of work takes 3 years from beginning to end. Getting everything together, all the casting, but it takes a long time. But it's probably actually less work for me to do a voice and be involved than if it was a live action. Anything can happen. Obviously, the real work is for the animators and the director of all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it takes a long fucking time. Never did Jamie Redknapp. Jamie Redknapp. Well, his name wasn't changed, and he's an ex-footballer who, as far as I know, has done nothing wrong either. These are just people asking me. I'm not just suddenly just shouting things out. Like, this is a man. What will they think of this, right? What if they found all these things like in 10 years' time and people didn't know the lockdown or why I was doing this? It just looks like the ramblings of a madman. And in 10 years' time, I probably will have lost my mind. I will be somewhere. In a home somewhere. So they go, oh, that was the beginning of it. Just so he'd be sitting there talking to himself, drinking beer, going, Jamie Redknapp. Right, and then go, there's a cock in a drain. Maybe someone should do the best of. And by the best of, I mean the worst of these. Someone should put together the shittest, most mental, awful, banal moments of this. And I'll send it off. I say, can I do this? I want to do this show. Everyone's getting shit telly shows from doing this sort of shit. People are desperate. Absolute bollocks is getting made. So someone compile a 2-minute sizzle reel of the worst of these. Oh dear. How long's that? 13 minutes. Fucking hell. We're out of shit to say. Who cares? Where did I watch Bowie and Live Aid 35 years ago? In our shitty little flat on a tiny little television. That I had like a coat hanger for an aerial. It was about that big. Right? The flat it's the tiny little room that I talk about where I could open the fridge from the bed. Horrible. Shitty place, dodgy landlord, just horrible. And a telly that it was like the picture. You had to wiggle the coat hanger thing to try and get it. It was like, it's like 3 pictures superimposed. Watching snooker was fucking terrible. It honestly, it looked like atoms. And wax. It's just about 1,000 balls, and black and white, of course. So yeah, and I remember Bowie coming out, and it was incredible. If I remember right, he gave up a bit of his time to show a video when I had like a certain amount of time or 4 songs, and he said, show an important video on some of mine. Yeah, and I think that's when the world also looked at Queen in a different way, didn't they? That was their big. I mean, they're already huge, but their huge global break when everyone just thought, "Oh, Queen are amazing." I hope that answers your question. Yeah, I should do something else in animation. I think I'm really getting into that. It's good, that. I mean, some of the best animation is absolutely brilliant. It's just things you obviously can't do. But I do like working with actors. I like that realism as well. What else? Queen stole that show. Oh, yeah. Pretty good. Howie as well. Was it Friday, innit? Yeah. Is it another bank holiday, innit? How many have they had in May alone? That's a lot, isn't it? I've enjoyed doing this though. It's been nice, just chatting. No pressure, who gives a fuck? It's been like just, yeah, chatting to... You don't get to do this sort of thing. Even interviews, you're trying to be articulate and talk in sound bites and answer the question. Sometimes the questions are shit. Whereas this, I don't know. As I say, it's like a man in a padded cell, just talking to. I don't know who I'm talking to. Really, I'm talking to you lot, but I don't know you, do I? Do you ever play darts? I used to love darts. Yeah, I wasn't good. I never understood with darts. Right? You practice, obviously, I get that. But then you practice, and then you sort of get what you're aiming for. You get, 320s, the odd treble, right, and all that. And then one day you try and get the 20, and you get a 1, and then a 5, and then I go, why? I just did it. It wasn't luck. Why can't I do it every time? So that annoyed me. Your favourite vacation spot? Well, not that we've had a vacation for 20 years, although flying around the world doing these gigs, I always make sure, well, one, I choose the nicest places in the world, obviously, the most beautiful capital cities, and, cities in America and Canada that I want to go to. So we spend some time there, so they're sort of little vacations. Even though I'm working, it's not like work, is it? It's fun. But the last time I had a week off and sat by a pool or a beach or something, which I knew to, that's like 25 years ago. We always liked Italy. Yeah, went there a few times. But obviously, no one's having a vacation yet. Everything's postponed, isn't it? It's my birthday soon. Postpone it. And I can stay 58. Until I celebrate my birthday, I'll stay 58. 58. Fucking hell. Doesn't feel that. I don't feel 58. I know I look it. If doctors open me up, they go, he's definitely fucking 58. Look at this. Look at that. The fuck is that? That's his liver, right? Oh, fucking hell. That is that blood? No, it's Cabernet Sauvignon. Right, that's fucked. This is his bowel. What the fuck is that? We can't put this back. We can't put this back in. I don't know what doctor's doing that, lifting out my insides and showing it round the theatre, making the nurse giggle. Look at that, doctor. It's fucking hell, doing a bit with my bits. Oh yeah, I wish I could do that though. I wish you could sort of pay to go in a specialised thing if you go in there, right? And you go in a pod, and first they do they irradiate all the shit, right? You got nothing in there, you got no fucking microbes and that done, or sterile or whatever. Not that sort of sterile, you know what I mean? And then they give you some sort of blood transfusion. I haven't got into science, right? And then they do like a colonic, but for everything. They somehow, right? They take you all apart, scrub it, right? Wash it under the sink, like wash your liver under the sink, put that back in. Again, I'm not a qualified doctor, right? But that's what I wish they could do. Like, we're doctor in the sense of Dr. Frankenstein or Dr. Shipman. Yeah, I wish you could just have just like taking your car, do everything. Fucking change the oil, pump the tyres up, sand down the rust. That's as good as new. Cheers. But no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Science says you can't do that. And who am I to argue with science? Doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter. It still runs. I still think. I still eat and drink. I'm still working. I'm happy. What does it matter? It's just a shell, isn't it? Just a thing. Just a blob of meat for a brain to live in. Again, I'm not a doctor or a poet, but do you know what I mean? I'm a big fucking sack of movable meat that thinks. Doesn't matter what this is, does it? It gets me around. These are fucking putting food in my mouth, right? And juggling. They're the two main things, right? It all fucking works. Doesn't matter what it's like until it doesn't work anymore. And I just then stick me in, put fucking wheels on me, put me in some sort of bath on wheels and just get me round. I'd carry on doing shit. There we go. That should go in the. Could that get in the best of? We'll do it in the best of. Look, come on. Tattoo bye, everyone. Tattoo bye.
Ask some of the deadly serious questions that you would ask.
On you.
Okay, we're gonna. All right.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
We're gonna ask you.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Who's the funniest person you know?
Probably my brother Bob. He was my biggest influence growing up. He's like 11 years older than me, and he's a fatter, older, balder version with no restrictions. So that's my future. That's my future. I'm going to look like my brother Bob, and I'm going to be a better comedian in 10 years because, you know, people. The funniest person you know isn't a comedian.
Yeah.
You know, it's your dad or your brother or your best mate. So it's just that weight of like knowing someone. And,
does he know he's funny?
Yeah, it's always been funny. I've always wanted to be funny like him.
For him.
And I liked it because it was like a social skill. He could go into a room and just say what he wanted wherever it was. So I always admired that you know, he doesn't care who he's talking to, which I
Does he ever call you like after a gig or something that he sees and says, "Hey, Ricky, that killed," or "Hey, that was blah blah"?
He's come to all my gigs,
Yeah.
yeah, I talk about him in my gigs.
Yeah.
I ask him permission, and he goes, "Say what you want, I don't care."
Does he ever say you went over the line?
Too far.
I can't imagine. I don't imagine that's possible in my family.
Your whole family, not just Bob.
It was all about
What about
truth.
Bob?
I remember, like, all my brothers and sisters are older than me. They're 11, 12 and 13 years older than me. And I asked my mum when I was about 13, I said, "Why are my brothers and sisters so much older than me?" And she looked at me and said, "You were a mistake." Oh! And I just laughed.
Yeah.
The truth is, they're all mistakes. You know.
They're all...
Yeah, they're all mistakes. I don't know how we happened, to be honest. So, yeah.
I'm still slightly bemused about this move from I'm an expert on this and I have views to I'm a comedian.
I've never claimed to be an expert on anything.
This is the problem, Joe. If somebody
Wait a minute,
says...
you have to claim to be an expert on something to have an opinion on something?
No, you don't have to be.
Well, I mean, it depends what you mean by it. I mean, I deal with dark subjects, lots. I deal in taboos for various reasons. But it depends, doesn't it? I've always said it depends. Some people are offended because they mistake the subject of a joke with the actual target. I assume these people are generally just trying to be offensive and troll people, and not, you know, that. I mean, again, I'm not going to judge them, but if you do that, you've got to be good at it. There's got to be something there.
I'm not a historian, but I'm pumping out history.
But wait a minute,
I'm
what
not
about
an expert, but I'm talking all the time about
But
this
you're not
thing.
even talking about specifically on what he just said. What's the solution? To not talk about it?
No, it's to have more experts around.
The expert class hasn't done a great job,
I know,
man. This is follow the science.
Yeah,
but you know what?
I
Okay,
agree
so fine.
with
So
that.
during,
I just said to you, I agree with that.
Right, I know.
But
So
one
Douglas,
of the problems
during
is,
all of
Fire
COVID,
away.
I will put my track record against any of the expert class on COVID. So should I have just shut up? Should I have shut up by opposing lockdowns and opposing vaccine mandates?
No.
And
Well,
talking
that
about
was
the
the
lab leak
argument at the
theory.
time. You realize
that's
that,
the
right?
entire argument that you're making. Let the experts handle this.
No.
You're not an expert. You're right. I was just a comedian.
You're wildly not listening to what I'm saying.
You're saying I claim to be an expert, but then I have like a parachute to get out of it by being like, hey, I'm just a comedian. But I don't think I've ever like really claimed to be an expert. I have opinions on things.
People think it's easy. They see people, comedians who deal in dark subjects. They go, oh, anyone can do that, and you can't. As people say to me, go, oh, yeah, you're just offensive. Anyone can make people laugh by being offended. Oh, I go on then. Go on, sell out Wembley and then just go on there and just be offensive. No jokes, no art, no craft. After about 20 seconds you'll go, yeah, there's a trick to this, isn't there? It's a skill, it's a tightrope walk. Imagine if you're walking on top and you kept falling off and breaking your leg, people go, he's not very good. You can't go, oh, you just don't like the way you're not walking the tightrope properly. You've got to be good at it. I'd say it depends. You've got to take every joke on its own merit, and and every comedian on their own merit.
But isn't it weird to be simultaneously saying I'm not an expert on a conflict and talking about it everywhere?
I don't see how you
Do
can
you
have an
talk
opinion
about
on
these things?
Some of them, yeah.
Are you an expert?
I am on some, yes.
On some,
But
but
you talk
not.
about some that
But
you're not
some
an
are
expert
not.
on.
You'll
What
know-
should you do if those subjects get breached?
Well, I think that you educate yourself as much as you
Shouldn't
can.
you say I'm not an expert and then give your opinion if you're
depends.
in the middle of a conversation?
I think it's a weird move to say I'm not an expert on this, but I'm going to talk about it non-stop. I think that is true.
Listen, I will certainly concede that I am weird, but I just fundamentally disagree with this idea that there's an expert class. They can have opinions on all of these things. It's weird for any regular person
No.
who's just read about it.
Not my view.
What it sounds like, and I don't know this story, what it sounds like they've probably broken some sort of rules of the platform, maybe. I mean, there are still laws, I guess. I don't know, but it depends. But there's nothing wrong with dark humour, nothing at all. There's nothing wrong with any subject. It depends on the joke.
So I'm going to be off this stage in 30 seconds, whether Albert John is fucking ready or not. Now, thank you for coming to this event to save the world. If this doesn't do it, I don't know what will. To put this together, we had to throw in flying comedians and actors and rock stars from all over the world, some of them in private jets. They use up a lot of fuel, but it saves queuing. So, please, put your hands together for the man who introduced this band to the world in this documentary film, Spinal Tap. Mr. Marty DeBergi.
Russell Brand and Ricky Gervais, try and behave yourself, gentlemen, if you can.
Do that again and do the names.
No, I'm not doing it again. That's fine.
Like he's Russell Brand and I'm Ricky Gervais.
I think people can work this out.
Yeah.
I think people can work it out. The short one and the tall one, so don't worry about that. Now, as far as you're concerned,
which is which?
I don't know. I haven't worked that out yet. As far as you're concerned,
That's his attack. That's his first attack on you, Ricky.
Oh,
What's he
yeah.
going to say about me?
Fightist.
Okay, should we talk about something else now?
Yeah, go on.
Okay,
Other
climate
than you.
change. All right.
Okay.
Are you here tonight just to enjoy the content?
I'm
and
not here
to
tonight.
do the job. I'm
You're
not
not
even here
tonight.
tonight. He is. This is
He
live.
is.
This is pre-recorded.
Right, okay. Well, this is all going horribly wrong.
You
isn't
asked
it?
us.
I know.
I did
I'm
warn you.
regretting it now. I'm
Yeah.
regretting it now.
No, it's a
Climate
it's a
change.
pleasure to be here, and everyone here is an absolute professional.
Except him, he's a shambles. Are you drunk?
Not yet. Not yet. Now, climate change then. You know, is it something that you're interested in, or are you just here for the booze?
He's not holding that microphone.
Perched.
I should tell you what his other hand's doing.
All right, no, never mind. Look, it's holding this, so don't worry about that. Don't believe everything you hear from this man. Climate. So I'll ask you, climate change. Is it something you think seriously about?
You're the preferable one.
Right.
Imagine that. Someone
Yeah,
would
you've
rather
got-
talk to you than someone else.
This
Go on.
is quite a mark on your character that he's turned to me. Yeah, I do, of course I care about climate change. Now, as individuals, we can do an awful lot. You, for example, you're going to have to change the way you're living your lifestyle. Don't look all cynical.
And how do you know I live? How do you know how I live my lifestyle?
No,
look the
it's
idiot.
important.
It's
He don't
like
care
I go
about
around
nothing.
killing turtles for a laugh.
He does do that.
So climate change. And my lifestyle.
Your lifestyle, particularly the way you turned up here on a jet bike, making women pregnant on his team just for a jolly.
That was a vicious rumour.
You're like a modern day Jack the Ripper, you are.
Right, thank you.
Oh, that's.
Oh dear, bring back Keane. Right, okay, but seriously, guys.
Okay, no,
all
seriously,
right, do
no,
you really
don't-
think? Do you really think that this sort of concert makes any difference whatsoever? There's a message out there: climate change. You guys are here having a good time. Everyone else is in the audience. Do you think it's significant?
It does make a difference because a lot of the acts were flown in by private jet, so that's added to the emissions no end.
Right. Okay, so it's a bad thing then.
I just want people to let
That was
Nelson
a
Mandela
joke.
go.
Yeah,
As soon
get
as-
him out.
Get him out.
And Maggie.
Let Mandela go.
And Charlie from Big Brother.
Charlie's got to be freed sooner or later, one of these days. Well, yeah, I think, listen, I think if all of us as individuals do the occasional thing, like me now, I can make you happy. Just a little shove there. You see, it's made a little difference to the world. By doing small things, we can
Yeah.
make a difference. We don't have to do a
Small
big
things
thing.
like him.
We don't have to...
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. I don't clean my teeth now and let the tap run.
I don't do that.
No, exactly. I don't clean my teeth. I recycle. But I don't. Do you find it hard walking through busy built-up areas now? We have to have a car with blacked-out windows, don't we? And that adds to it. I used to walk
Right, well, you
everywhere.
have to walk everywhere. Go on rollerblades or something.
Yeah, no, they shout, do the dance. To you, which is weird.
And I can't do the dance, you know.
Of course you can. Go on.
I'm not
No,
really
no.
well. If it comes to that point, it's been a grim afternoon here at Wembley if I find myself doing that dance. Crikey.
I think I've actually had enough of all this now. I can't get any sense out of these two at all. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to.
No, say the truth.
Turn the light off.
Back to you in the studio.